We're live.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome you to the first ever installment of the Elements of the Scholar Athlete, brought to you by the Boys and Girls Club of the Gulf Coast. We'll be interviewing two great people, great Mississippians today. Mark McLaurin, who's a safety for the New York Giants, and also Chris McNair, who is the founder of Ligra Sports Performance. So thank you guys for joining us, first of all.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Truly a blessing.
So over the next little while, these series are going to bring, this is the first installment, so these series are going to bring you a lot of different professional athletes and people we feel like the young people on the Mississippi Gulf Coast and nationwide will be able to connect with and learn from. It's a tough time for everybody right now, so we just want to try to help them connect and grow and stay motivated. So to that point, Mark, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Mark McLaurin. I'm from Collins, Mississippi. I went to high school at Collins High School, graduated from there, went to Mississippi State, graduated there with a business degree, and now I'm a professional athlete for the New York Giants.
Chris, are you there?
Yes, you froze up a little bit, man. So I didn't. If you asked me something, I didn't hear.
I said, just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm originally from Gulfport, Mississippi. Played my high school football at Gulfport High School. I actually only played 1 year of high school football. Got a full ride to Southern Miss. Played there for 3 years. Then I transferred, went to Tuskegee, and finished out my career there. After college, I went to free agent acquired. I went to Jacksonville Jaguars. Then I played in the AFL and the CFL for a collective of about 6 years. And then now I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I actually was a jack man in NASCAR too for about a year and a half. So I did that. Then I moved on to strength and conditioning.
Oh, wow. Well traveled. That's pretty cool. So, Mark, we'll start with you. Tell me, since this is about motivating and staying motivated, how have you been staying motivated during this time?
I actually been thinking of the bright side, life after this virus, because I know it's all going to come to an end. So just thinking about everything that's going to happen afterward and thinking about the season and what I need to do to stay ready, stay motivated. That means even if it's doing a little workout here and there, because I know the off-season program is extended a little bit. So just waking up with the same motivation, same mindset every day to wake up, attack the day, be great, because there's always somebody out there that's getting better every day. So you're not the only one that's thinking about the game. So just remember, it's people getting better every day.
Have you always had that mindset?
Always got to learn to push, fight, because nothing's come easy in life. You just got to learn to continue to fight and continue to grow every day.
So growing up in Collins, did you ever think you'd be in New York?
I never thought I'd be in New York, but life takes you different places, and sometimes you just got to adjust and learn to continue to fight and move on.
Understood. So Chris, being a professional trainer of professional athletes, how have you been staying motivated and keeping them motivated during this time?
So one of the things is with the NFL canceling off-season activities, it actually puts them with me extra 8 weeks. So I was pretty pumped about that because now I got the whole off-season training. I got control of the whole off-season training when normally I have a little bit of a layoff where they go back and, they go through mini camp and stuff like that. So for me, it's just mainly keeping them focused on the grind and taking the proper precautions with this virus, making sure I'm keeping everything clean and wiped down and sanitary when they come in, when they leave, because that's the main thing. I want my athletes to stay healthy, because if they're not healthy, then they can't get better at their craft. And that, just like to piggyback on what Mark said, there's always somebody continuing to work There's always somebody getting better. So we can't take the time off the slack and lose the progress that we made in the beginning of the off season. So just continuing to work and following the guidelines that are, the leaders of our country have set forth on what we should do in these times, and just continuing to work hard and grind through it all.
Definitely. So, Mark, take me through what's your daily training routine look like right now?
I wake up in the morning. I try to wake up by 7:38. Give me a good breakfast in, even if it's something small. So wake up, give me a run early in the morning, or get up and try. It's either run in the morning first and lift second, or lift first and run out there, and then throughout the rest of the days, learn to eat right, process everything. And when we're able to watch film, I'm gonna add my film session in. So I would take 3 to 4 hours a day with all football, and then after that, just get away from the game a little bit before it's time to go back. Because when it's time to go back, I got to be fully locked in with the game.
Okay. So how much film would you say you watch in a week, hours wise, maybe?
Hours wise, with the new coaching system and everything's changed, I would try to at least give me 10 plus hours a week, just so I feel like I can be ahead of everybody else and try to be on top of my game when it's time to get back, because I can't leave no slack out.
That's awesome. So that motivation, that internal drive, what gets you up? What causes you to have that drive every day?
Just being able to wake up, and Lord bless me to wake up and be able to play this game once again. And I have a son now, so every day I look at him, I want him to be better than what I've been when I grew up, and he don't have to go through some things I done went through it as a child and as growing up, because life wasn't always easy, and I just want him to be able to just grow up and live the life that he wants to live. So every day I wake up, he's my motivation. Him, my mom, and my dad. I just look at him and it be like, this is my reason. So I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna keep fighting.
It looks like you got him on your shirt, huh?
I keep him with me.
That's all right. So Chris, can you answer that same question for me? What's your motivation every day? Like personally, we talked about what motivates the athletes and how you keep them motivated, but what's your motivation?
Right. So my motivation is basically, pursuing whatever I do with excellence, because that's what God would want me to do. So I just try to take everything to the next level and be the best that I can be at what I'm supposed to be. And that's kind of like what my brand actually embraces. If you notice that in my brand, when I spell it with a capital L, capital G, and a capital R. That stands for Let God Reveal. Because at first I thought I was supposed to be an athlete. I thought I was supposed to be a professional athlete. And things happened in my life that led me to become what I am today, a strength coach. And I really feel like that was my calling in life. And now it's just about pursuing that with excellence and being a service to the community and kids and other athletes. And just, that's my motivation, just pursuing everything with excellence and to be the best that I can be.
So transitioning from being an athlete to training athletes, was that hard for you at first to kind of go from one dream, what you always thought was going to be your dream, to another? Can you talk about that for a second?
Man, I fought it for years. It's so crazy because, people I played with and former teammates from college and high school, they were like, what were you waiting for? We thought you were going to be a coach, years ago, you know what I mean? And it's like, I fought it for years because in my mind, I was supposed to be a football player. So I chased that dream and I didn't really focus on what God wanted me to be. And, training athletes comes so easy. It's the only thing I've ever done in my life where I can do it. And I'm the best at what I do without a lot of effort. In football, it was always practice. Beat on your craft, and you're still in a group of guys who can perform at the same level as you, who look just like you, who are, same size, same speed. And, you're really just beating your craft to try to get ahead of somebody else. Well, this is just when you find your calling it's gonna be so effortless. But once you get to that point, you have to pour yourself into it so you become excellent. And it's just, man, it was just one day, it was just like an epiphany, it just happened. And when I embraced it, my life took off. I've never been happier.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Mark, so I know you back home and I know you're eating good. What's your favorite healthy meal that you can share with the young people at home?
I would say I love baked chicken and some type of vegetable to go with it. And so I say baked chicken and probably a loaded potato.
Loaded potato. What else?
What
else is on the menu? I know you eat more than that.
With a good, I have a good salad. I try to eat right. I try to eat 4 to 5 days out the week, and the other 2 days I might cut myself a little slack or something, not too crazy, but just a little. I'm a picky guy on what I eat, so I'm not really a bunch of certain type of stuff. I try to keep it simple.
Yep. What about you, Chris? What's your favorite healthy meal?
Well, Mark on that defensive back diet. I ain't eating like that. I'm 300 pounds. I do eat healthy though. I do watch what I eat, and my probably, for the guys who are trying to gain muscle, definitely my favorite healthy meal for muscle gains is probably a New York strip steak, 10-ounce New York strip, sweet potato and asparagus. That's my favorite.
Okay. It sounds like both of y'all, I could see that. I could see those meals. I wasn't over here shaking my head like, nah, I can't get with that. Yeah. So Mark, MJ, when did you know that football could be a career for you? Like, at what point did it click? Like, is it something like you knew like in the 5th grade, or when did it click for you?
My freshman year of high school, I had a coach named Coach Frazier. I always did everything back onto what Chris said. Everything I did, I tried to be perfection. I took it to excellence. I wanted to be great. I wanted to be the best at everything. So I wouldn't let nobody outwork me. Just because I was a freshman didn't mean nothing. I came in with the same mindset. I'm gonna come dominate. I'm gonna come show you that I'm worthy to be here. And I didn't think of anything else. And I got my first opportunity, my 3rd game, and coach looked at me and said, "I want the football." And I was playing corner, and my first play as a freshman in high school, I picked 6 the ball, and right then and there, my coach told me, he said, "Son, I know you're gonna be great." And ever since then, it clicked to me that this can be it. And he pushed me every day and excel, and it just went from there. And the Lord just blessed me to be where I'm at today.
When did you start working at your craft, taking it serious? Like, because that's great, but like, what did your off seasons look like? Because I think a lot of times people think you got to work a certain way once you get there, but I know you a little bit, so I just want you to tell them at home how long you've been working at your craft, like you've been working.
I've been working on my craft long as I've been playing the game, and I've been playing the game since I was in flag football. I mean, there's no such thing as off time for me. It feel like every day is a day to get better. Every day is work. It's always something to do. It's never time to just sit on and not do nothing, sit at home. I feel like if you got that much time, there's something in this world you can be doing to perfect your craft, even if it's studying film, watching somebody else play the game, learning something from their film, just doing little things. And when I got in high school, it went from playing every sport every year, all the sports around, football, to transition straight to basketball, straight to football. And went from baseball, I go to my 7-on-17 Mississippi grind, and it was all year round. There was no such thing as I'm not doing nothing. So it was always a grind here and grinding. And so blessedly I got to make the 7-on-17 that Coach Ian started, and it blew up from there. And I got a great opportunity to showcase my talent to the world.
Cool. So as far as the academic side, because I know you qualified right out of high school, you played in the SEC, but talk about how handling your business in the classroom helped you get to college, and then help you handle your business in the classroom in college, help you get where you are today. Because I think that's an important thing to talk about.
See, the academic, I was always taught academics first. I'm a high class guy, blue collar. So I was always, my parents, I was already smart in school. So it was, if I didn't have A's and B's, there was no such thing as sports. So they made sure it was school first and then sports. I never forget, I made my first C, and my dad told me I couldn't play ball. I couldn't play football. That was like death to my ears when he told me that. And I couldn't fuss because I knew the consequences behind it. So I had to take that upon myself to never let that happen again. And so happened, he let me play football that Friday. And ever since, it's been school first. Never let any sports get in between, because one day you got to hang it up. If it's football, baseball, basketball, tennis, whatever sport it may be, it all comes to an end. And you got to have a life outside of sports. And with this academics, it's very, very important, because once it's over, you got to be able to have something left, because anything can happen. It happened to the best of us, and you just gotta go in every day, talk to your teachers, sit at the front row. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Pay attention. It's nothing wrong with taking notes, going to want to be great, because you're going to take notes when you're playing sports. So why not do it in the classroom, something that can also help you be great? And then, so happened for me, I was one of those guys that actually did great in school. So it took me from high school to college, and from college to where I'm at now. And I was always known as a great student, a great athlete. So now I'm just blessed to be where I'm at.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Chris, there's a saying that says, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Can you talk a little bit to me about what that means to you, and how you translate that into your everyday training?
Definitely. That's saying, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. You don't have to prepare if you're already prepared. Definitely, I believe in, so as much as I believe in working hard, there's also a part of preparation that rest has its place in preparation too. And a lot of people, don't basically put that part in there. Rest is also important. Getting a lot of sleep has to do with preparation for a game, preparation for off season, getting the right amount of rest, and also getting in and grinding is a part of the whole preparation standpoint. And working hard in the off season, not taking days off, is what usually people say, no days off. But you got to realize that rest is also a part of the work. So if you're in there grinding, make sure you resting also, because there's a part of it called overtraining. You can overtrain because you think you're preparing, no days off, but actually you're working backwards. So that's one of the things I do like to talk about, actually, because there's a big time misunderstanding when it comes to preparation and over preparing. So you can actually overtrain muscle. You can overtrain your nervous system, and you're just mentally out of it. You're physically out of it, and you need to get that. You need to get that sleep, that adequate amount of sleep. You need to diet the right way. It's all a part of this. This is all one big foundation that you build upon to become prepared for the season. So yes, if you're prepared the right way, you don't have to get ready because you're already ready. But just make sure you know that rest and diet is just as important as your workouts.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We appreciate that. So, Mark, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here. What would you say is one thing that you don't like about yourself right now? And I'm gonna tell you, because you and I, we know each other. I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking you that, because there's a lot of young people that look up to you and see where you are, and they think you have to be perfect. But I just kind of want you to, not get too personal, but tell us a little bit about that side and what you deal with on that side, so they can know that they can make it too, but they don't have to be perfect.
Well, let me take you back to the guy that led the SEC and interceptions, highest tackle on the team, played perfect versus Heisman, 3 interceptions versus Heisman Trophy candidate, and just the future looked so bright as a junior in college. I'm talking about you would have thought I was a first round, second round guy, and went back for my senior season, which still the same thing. You thinking, hey, everything's gonna be okay. Just tack the game, and it happens. And when season went on, didn't go as a plan. Nothing went as planned that year. Still got invited to the NFL Combine. Get to the Combine. Didn't run the 40. I ended up running the 4.7 40, and didn't get drafted at all. Waited every day, sat there, patient, waited, and ended up going as a free agent. And as I got there, the free agency, get to New York, went to the rookie mini camp, got the rookie mini camp, dominated, showed I was worthy to be there because the hard work and dedication that's in me, proved to the coaches why I'm worthy enough to be here. And the season's right, and made it all the way to preseason. 4 days before the preseason game, I ended up making a tackle in the backfield, and one of my linemen stepped on my foot and broke my 5th metatarsal. And so that put me out. They put me on injury reserve. It put me out for 8 to 12 weeks. Coming back from that injury, I come back, first time running back on the practice field. I go back out for my final run and end up breaking my other 5th metatarsal in my other foot. And it's been a long process my whole rookie season. Haven't seen the field. Only thing I've done was practice and be able to watch film. And it's a hard process. And for then this coronavirus stuff that happened and can't go back right now, it's a long, hard process. But I still keep the faith. I still got the same grind, same work ethic. That's just motivation to get better every day. Just to prove that you want to be there. Just can't wait to just add fuel to the fire. And something that just make you want to get back out there and show them that you're worthy enough to be out here and you're worthy enough to play.
Thank you for sharing that. So I'm going to go into that to something a little bit lighter. We're going to play a little game. It's called Rapid Fire. And I'm going to give you 2 things, and you pick either or, okay? All right. So I know you're out there in the country, so this one might be easy. Sweet tea or Coke?
Sweet tea.
I would have bet that one. Summer or winter?
Summer.
All right, now, so we're going to back up on that. So you're in New York, right? You live in New York during the season. You're in Mississippi. So you talking about a Mississippi summer versus a New York winter, or what?
Leave me in Mississippi summer, because New York winter, yeah, that's a different lifestyle. That's a totally different lifestyle. Huh? It's cold, real cold.
Okay, the mountains or the beach?
The beach.
Okay, sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Okay, Madden or 2K?
Oh, Madden, baby, Madden, any day.
Who do you run with on Madden? Who's your team? I already know the Giants. I know that's your team. You got to run with. Yeah.
Gotta roll with myself, man. I got to roll with myself. I got to roll with the whole team.
I got you. Okay.
Anybody else? I would say I'm Baltimore, man. Just a Baltimore.
Okay.
I like the defense. I'm a defensive back. I like the game.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Okay. Early or late?
Always early.
Always early. No, what I mean by that though is you stay up early or go to bed late. I guess I should say early bird or a night owl.
I'm a night owl.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Chris, can you talk to me a little bit real quick, Chris, about because you talked to me a little bit about your story and transitioning from playing ball to training. Mm-hmm. How do you handle when things don't go as planned and they don't go perfect?
So my life. Let me give you a story about me. So I was actually Scholar Athlete of the Year. I was a Scholar Athlete of the Year when I came out of high school. I was qualified to sign a D1 scholarship when I was a sophomore. I had already taken the ACT, I'd already passed it, so when I graduated, there was no, academics was something that was just automatic for me. That's what everybody thought. Everybody thought academics was automatic. Let's not forget that I didn't start playing sports. I didn't start playing sports until ninth grade. I was strictly a student. Before that, I got into basketball when I was in ninth grade, and I didn't get into football until my junior year, spring, going into my senior year. So when I got to college, when I got to Southern Miss, my focus, was not on school anymore because I got used to the fame that football brought me. I never knew, how much popularity you could get from playing a sport just because you're a little bit better than everybody else, And it kind of went to my head, at first. And I stopped going to class. All I wanted to do was, hang out. I went to practice, I worked out, I went to practice, I did all that, but I was neglecting the classroom. So classes that I thought were interesting, in my major, by the way, I'm a biochem graduate, but the classes in my major, biology, chemistry, calculus, I made all good grades in, B's, A's in all those classes. But the classes like English, history, other stuff, just electives, I didn't even go. And so, I didn't go, but I would turn in my work. I would turn in my work, but I wouldn't go to class. And I didn't know that there was a rule to that. You miss a certain amount of days, the teacher can basically, withdraw you from the class because you're not signing the roll. She doesn't think you're coming. So I got into a situation where I got suspended. They did a big write-up in the newspaper. It was announced at the Houston Bowl game, actually. I was an outside linebacker at Southern Miss. At this time, I was second string, playing a little special teams. But it got announced. This was my freshman year, my redshirt freshman year. It got announced at the Houston Bowl that I was suspended and I couldn't come to the Houston Bowl and play. So, it was in the newspapers. Everybody was shocked. And I came back to Gulfport and just, man, I had my head down and didn't want to face the fact that I had failed everyone. So my dad, especially, I disappointed my dad. It was the first time my dad had ever been disappointed in me. And that just hurt me to the core. But it needed to happen because it made me a different guy. I went to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, and I played a semester there. I played a season. That's it. And the coaches from Southern Miss, came down and they asked me if I wanted to come back. So I come back, and when I come back, I'm just not the same. Mentally, I'm not the same. I'm not the same guy. Physically, I'm not the same guy. So I decided, I'm gonna transfer, and I went to Tuskegee because I feel like the environment there just wasn't for me with that hanging over my head. That being said, I didn't let that stop me in the disappointment I created. I wound up getting myself together, started going to class, I got my grades back, right, and started going to class and, wound up going to Tuskegee and finishing there, playing there. But the thing was, I didn't let that stop me. A lot of kids, have downward spirals in their life and they let it take over like this. It's the end because you disappoint someone. And I just want to let you guys know nobody's expecting you to be perfect. Nobody's expecting you to be perfect. We're expecting you not to quit. So don't quit. That's my message. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Just don't quit. When you get knocked down, get back up because that's what a champion is. Champion is not somebody who doesn't go through any trials or doesn't go through any turmoil. A champion is the one who fights through all that. So just keep grinding. Don't quit no matter what happens.
Appreciate that. Well, Mark, Chris, we want to tell you thank you for your time from the Boys and Girls Club. We really appreciate it. And to everyone out there, I'd like to tell you thank you for joining us on the first installment of Elements of a Scholar Athlete, the series. And please follow the Boys and Girls Club Gulf Coast page and to continue to look on notices. And we'll have more interviews coming up from great people like these young men. I appreciate you again, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you. God bless y'all.
God bless.